Alright, sorry about that. Cut you off a little short on part 3 there. So we're going to make this elevations part 3.5. I think my camera was full and I forgot to delete some of the previous movies off of it. So we're going to start back with elevation part 3.5. Again, still working on that left hand side elevation, and you've measured up 7 here and over 12 to get your roof pitch, and then you're going to project those two dots together and draw that slope in. You're going to come to the middle of this side here, which we know is 30 feet, so half of that is 15. You're going to measure over 15. Let me get to the right scale. Measure over 15, make your little tick, and project your line here so that you know where that ridge line is right there, so when you draw that line you can then start coming down the other side here, and basically you do the same thing on this side. You've measured over 12 inches, and you've got that point there, which you can actually just project over from the other side. You can project it over, and from that point you just connect it to the ridge with your triangle, draw that in, drop down 6 inches, draw the rest of that fascia, drop down 6 inches here, draw the rest of this fascia. And for this boxing that you see right around the end of this, basically you're going to come over about 6 inches from the outside wall there over and take that, and then you're going to draw a line straight up. You do the exact same on the other side so that it covers in that inside of that part there. Then you're going to go over here. This part here is the porch roof that you see, that roof extends all over top of your porch. You'll notice that it's 4 feet out from the edge of that bedroom wall. So you're going to measure over 4 feet to that post, and you're going to then project that line up with your triangle. And again, you're going to you can measure over 6 inches and draw that post in, and then you can measure out 12 inches for the overhang and get your fascia. Again, you can project that point, the top of your fascia, over to here, and you can project the bottom part of that fascia over there, and you've got your fascia drawn in at that point. To determine where this ridge is that's beyond, you can simply just project that roof line here on up, and you can just lightly draw it on up into outer space, and then you come over here from where you started, this point over here, which is a foot over, and you can just basically draw that same thing. You go up 7 over 12, connect the dots, and where those two lines meet is the intersection of the ridge. You're going to drop down 6 inches, to draw that fascia in place, and you've got that taken care of. Now this part of the roof is actually the part of the garage that you see here that sticks past the porch line. So we know that bedroom is 30 feet wide, we know the garage is 40 foot wide, and we know that porch is 4 feet wide, so 30 and 4 is 34, and 34 from that overall 40 leaves 6 feet left of that garage that we will see from here to here in elevation, which is from that porch post over to the side wall of the garage, which goes back, turns into the front. So you measure over 6 inches, and you simply project that line straight up, and from that top of that fascia line you've already drawn over, you can just draw a line straight over. From the bottom of that fascia line, you can just draw a line straight over. Again, that overhang is 1 foot in this case. You can tick that off, and you can then draw that line straight up to get that front edge of that roof. But where is that ridge line right there? Basically what you want to do to get that ridge line is you can go to your front elevation that you drew down here of the garage and measure it. So if you went back to your front elevation and you measured what you see right here, you can see it's about 15 feet from the ground. So all you got to do is take that measurement from the ground over to here. Let me get my camera situated again, and measure up from the ground 15 feet to that point. Put your little tick mark, and then just draw your line. That's your ridge line of your garage and beyond. And you want to draw that stuff that's beyond lighter lines than you did with the stuff that's in the foreground. Stuff that's in the foreground to you, you want to draw darker, and then the stuff that's in the background, you want to draw lighter to give it kind of a three-dimensional quality. Then I want you to come and locate this window in the master bedroom, which you know is 10 feet 9.5 inches from your floor plan, to the center line of that window. And we're going to draw that over 10 foot 9, measure that to there, 10 foot 9, and put a little center line right where our window is. Draw that in place. We know our window from what we did on the front. The window head is at 6 foot 8, so you tick that and draw that. Our window is 3 foot wide, so from the center line we go 1 foot 6 and 1 foot 6, and we know our window is 5 feet 4, so we measure that. And basically what I want you to do for right now is we'll come back, just draw that rectangle in, and we'll come back and draw those muttons in and the double hung and all that kind of stuff a little bit later when we delineate the rest of the siding. And this is siding that you see, and this is a gable vent there, and these little curlicues and things, we'll come back and delineate that as well as the shingles. We'll kind of do that all at one time, so you can kind of get in the mood to do that in one swoop, because it takes a little bit more artwork than just drawing technically. So at this point you should have your left hand side elevation, the outline of it completely drawn, and all your roof and walls in the placement of this window. So this is probably a very good time to determine if everything is right. Double check all your dimensions, make sure that you have your floor line in the right place, and that your roof pitches look correct and similar from side to side. And you want to make sure that you did those roof pitches correctly, and you can compare it to what the little handout on 11 by 17 looks like for the left hand side elevation, to see if it looks similar to what you have here. Again, that concludes elevations part 3.5, and we're going to move on to elevations part 4, which will be the rear elevation and the right hand side elevations a little bit later. But just take an opportunity to double and triple check all your dimensions, and we'll see you on part 4.